A toast to our biggest success yet.
Absolutely, to many more. What is that?
Everyone, get back now!
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Where did she come from?
What is this happening to me?
David, watch out!
In 1820, Umuoke village knew Adaeze as the healer whose hands carried hope. Trained by her blind grandmother, Mama Ure, she cured fevers with herbs, delivered babies safely, and comforted the dying. Villagers travelled for days seeking her help, leaving with restored health and grateful hearts. Though admired for her beauty, Adaeze remained humble, believing every healing came from God through nature. Unknown to her, powerful eyes watched from a distance. As she saved another child's life that morning, the village's feared ruler whispered, "She is the one." Adaeze's peaceful life was about to end.
Chief Anana ruled Umuoke with fear instead of love. Wealthy beyond imagination, he already had 6 wives, yet none had been seen for years. Whenever villagers asked questions, they were threatened into silence. Rumors claimed every harvest season demanded a human sacrifice to keep his riches growing. After watching Adaeze heal the sick child, the chief became convinced she possessed a rare spiritual gift that could make him invincible forever. Ignoring her wishes, he ordered his warriors to prepare for their wedding before the next full moon. Hidden nearby, Adaeze overheard every word and felt terror grip her heart. Shaking with fear, Adaeze hurried home and told Mama Ure everything. The old woman fell silent before opening a small wooden box that had remained sealed for generations. Inside lay a strange blue crystal and an ancient necklace carved with unfamiliar symbols. Holding Adaeze's hands, Mama Ure whispered, "Your destiny stretches beyond this village. If death chases you, run to the forbidden shrine. Never fear what lies beneath it, because time itself protects those chosen by heaven." Before Adaeze could ask another question, thunder roared across the sky, although the afternoon had been perfectly clear. Before sunrise, Chief Anana's warriors stormed Adaeze's home with drums, gifts, and armed escorts. The villagers watched in helpless silence as the chief announced that the wedding would take place before sunset. No one dared object. Adaeze's heart pounded while Mama Ure secretly placed the ancient necklace around her neck. "When the earth calls your name, do not resist," she whispered. As the wedding procession began, a sudden gust of wind scattered the chief's royal beads across the path. While everyone rushed to gather them, Adaeze seized the moment and sprinted toward the forbidden forest, with furious warriors chasing close behind. Branches tore at Adaeze's skin as she raced deeper into the forbidden forest. The warriors gained on her, their footsteps echoing through the trees. Suddenly, she reached a massive cave hidden behind a roaring waterfall. Ancient symbols glowed faintly on its walls. Remembering Mama Ure's warning, she stepped inside. The ground shook violently, and the blue crystal around her neck burst into brilliant light. Before she could scream, the floor cracked beneath her feet. Adaeze plunged into endless darkness while strange voices whispered, "The chosen healer has crossed the river of time." Then, everything went silent. Adaeze opened her eyes to blinding lights, loud music, and frightened screams. She was no longer inside the shrine. She stood in the middle of a luxurious penthouse in Lagos, where Nigeria's richest guests were celebrating billionaire David Adebayo's latest tech success. Her muddy feet stained the polished marble floor as champagne glasses shattered around her. Guests pulled out their phones, recording the mysterious girl dressed in ancient clothes and beads. Security guards rushed toward her, but before they reached her, David suddenly collapsed, gasping for breath. The joyous celebration instantly turned into complete chaos. Doctors and bodyguards surrounded David, desperately trying to revive him, but nothing worked. Ignoring everyone's insults, Adaeze knelt beside him and touched his wrist. She closed her eyes for a moment, then whispered, "His body is not sick. His spirit is trapped." The guests laughed, calling her a mad village girl. Adaeze reached into the small pouch still tied around her waist, crushed a few dried herbs, and gently placed them beneath David's tongue. Within seconds, he coughed violently and opened his eyes. The room fell silent. Every phone camera was now pointed at her. By sunrise, videos of Adaeze had flooded every social media platform. Headlines called her the time-traveling maiden, while others dismissed her as an actress performing an elaborate stunt. Reporters camped outside David's penthouse, demanding answers. Scientists requested tests, historians searched ancient records, and pastors debated her mysterious appearance. Inside the penthouse, Adaeze stared in amazement at elevators, electric lights, and the Lagos skyline stretching beyond the glass walls. Everything felt unreal. Then David entered, healthier than he had been in months. Looking into her eyes, he asked quietly, "Who are you, really?" Adaeze honestly told David she came from Umuoki village in the year 1820. He smiled politely, convinced she was confused after a terrible accident. To prove herself, she described herbs growing where his tallest office tower now stood and spoke of a sacred shrine hidden beneath the land. Curious, David ordered old maps and land records. To everyone's shock, they revealed an abandoned village once occupied the exact location centuries earlier. Before anyone could speak, David clutched his chest again. His heartbeat slowed dangerously, and a strange black mark spread across his arm. Doctors rushed David to a private medical suite, but every scan came back normal. The mysterious black mark continued spreading across his arm like living smoke. Adaeze examined him carefully before saying, "This is no disease. Someone disturbed a sacred place." David remembered his company had demolished an ancient underground structure while building the tower, ignoring local warnings because they delayed construction. Adaeze's face turned pale. "That was the shrine of time," she whispered. "It was never meant to be destroyed." Suddenly, every light in the penthouse flickered, and a chilling voice echoed through the room. The ghostly voice declared, "Restore what was broken, or the last bloodline will perish." Everyone froze in terror, except Adaeze. She recognized the voice as the ancient guardian her grandmother had spoken about. Searching the ruined construction site, Adaeze discovered the shrine's sacred stone hidden beneath concrete and steel. The moment she touched it, painful visions filled her mind. She saw Chief Nana secretly working with foreign traders centuries earlier, selling sacred land for power and wealth. Then she saw David's ancestors unknowingly inherit that cursed land. The past and present had finally collided. Adaeze revealed the truth to David. "Your family did not create this curse, but they have carried it for generations." She explained that every heir inherited the consequences of the shrine's destruction. David remembered his late father suffering from the same mysterious illness before dying unexpectedly. At last, everything made sense. Determined to end the nightmare, David agreed to help restore the sacred ground. But as workers prepared to remove the concrete, armed men suddenly surrounded the site. Their ruthless leader smiled and declared, "No one touches this land. Bury the truth forever or die trying." The armed men worked for a powerful businessman who had secretly funded the tower's construction. He knew the shrine contained an ancient relic believed to grant endless influence and fortune. For years, he had hidden every clue about the sacred site. When Adaeze refused to leave, his men seized her necklace and threw it into the excavation pit. Instantly, the ground trembled and dark clouds covered the Lagos sky. The mysterious black mark on David's arm spread to his chest. Adaeze realized the shrine had awakened and time itself was beginning to tear apart. Ignoring the frightened crowd, Adaeze jumped into the excavation pit to retrieve her grandmother's necklace. The moment her fingers touched it, the sacred stone blazed with blue light. A glowing doorway appeared beneath the ruins, revealing the Shrine of Time exactly as it had looked in 1820. The ancient guardian emerged and spoke. "Only a heart willing to sacrifice can end this curse." Adaeze understood immediately. To save David and restore the balance, she would have to surrender the only path back to her own time. Tears filled her eyes as everyone waited for her decision and smiled through her tears. A true healer saves lives even when it costs everything. She placed the necklace onto the sacred stone. A wave of brilliant light swept through the shrine, shattering the dark curse. The black mark vanished from David's body, and the mysterious illness disappeared forever. Outside, the storm cleared, and sunlight covered Lagos once again. But the glowing doorway slowly closed behind Adaeze. Her chance to return to 1820 was gone forever. Then the Guardian revealed one final secret that changed everything. The Guardian looked at Adaeze and smiled gently. "You were never sent here by accident." He revealed that Mama Ure had once entered the Shrine of Time as a young girl and prayed that one day her granddaughter would save both the past and the future. Adaeze realized her destiny had been written long before she was born. As the Guardian faded away, he handed her a small carved seed. "Plant this where the shrine once stood, and hope will never leave this land." Then the ancient spirit disappeared forever, leaving everyone speechless. David transformed the abandoned construction site into a beautiful healing garden, with the sacred seed planted at its center. Hospitals partnered with Adaeze to study her herbal knowledge, while she insisted that nature and science should work together, not against each other. The same media that once mocked her now celebrated her as the woman who united ancient wisdom with modern medicine. Yet every evening, Adaeze quietly watched the sunset, wondering if anyone in her village had ever known what became of her. One day, an elderly historian arrived, carrying a weathered scroll bearing her name. The historian carefully unrolled the ancient scroll before Adaeze. It had been preserved for generations and was written in the same symbols carved on her necklace. As she read it, tears streamed down her face. The final lines declared, "The healer who vanished into the earth will return only to save future generations. Do not mourn her, for time itself became her home." Adaeze finally understood why Mama Ure never feared the shrine. Her disappearance had become a legend centuries before it actually happened. At last, her heart found peace with her extraordinary destiny. Adaeze's healing center became a place where rich and poor received equal care. David abandoned his pride and used his wealth to build hospitals, schools, and gardens across Nigeria. Together, they proved that ancient wisdom and modern innovation could transform lives. People traveled from different countries just to learn from Adaeze's methods. Although she missed her village every day, she found a new family. Adaeze looked at the little girl and replied, "Sometimes the greatest journeys begin with one act of courage." She handed the child a tiny medicinal seed and encouraged her to protect both nature and people. As they walked away, the sacred tree planted above the old shrine shimmered beneath the evening sun, its leaves glowing with the same blue light that had once carried Adaeze across time. No one noticed a faint doorway briefly appearing beneath its roots before fading again. Perhaps the shrine of time was not gone after all. It was simply waiting for its next chosen traveler.